What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Mixed Martial Idiots podcast. We're going to go over UFC Qatar tonight. We're going to be a little shorter show. There is no pay-per-view next week, and we do not have the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, the phenomenal Tanner Francisco Dunphy. He's not with us, so it's just going to be myself and George, the super fan Novo tonight. The Bears got to win. He cashed some parlays. He kicked the shit out of all my bets Saturday night. How are you, George? What did you think of the fight card overall last night?
Well, I tried to watch some of it while I was supposed to be working, and that was phenomenal. That made a mundane day go by. But yeah, from what I saw, it was good. But there were definitely some upsets and some snoozers in here. But there was also some straight up great fights too.
Man, I think the one that disappointed me the most was Sagid versus Dalby, because Sagid is like Islam Makhachev's one of his primary sparring partners, and he's supposed to be phenomenal. I mean, he's 22-3 now, but um, he
He
was
couldn't
the
get the
biggest.
takedown, couldn't secure it. Like he kept getting it, and guy kept getting right back up. Like
Yeah, it was just a bummer, dude. Like Nicholas Dalby at 41 years old really shit on Sagid, which shit on a lot of my bets. But nevertheless, did you catch the first fight of the night against Denzel Freeman against Merrick Biojo?
oh, I caught them after I rewatched them whenever I had time.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Man, this fight, let's see. Leo was throwing like he was trying to knock out his ex-wife's new boyfriend, but Freeman
Damn.
just danced around like a drunk at a wedding. Um, I think that Buio controlled the ground game, but it was as boring as watching paint dry at the post office. Freeman's got to retire guy fights like he's an allergic to finishing, you know? Imagine Denzel showing up thinking he's the next Anderson Silva, but ends up looking like he forgot his jockstrap.
Well, tough night in the office. The next fight, I had my eye on it a lot. There was a couple of these guys from Next Gen MMA, the same team Patty the Batty trains out of. Shim Rock is one of those guys. He is a phenomenal striker. He was doing well in the sprawling and getting back to his feet, but Narulo Aliev, man, that lead hook, he just stayed committed to it, and he would shoot on Shimrock, not necessarily with full intentions of getting him down, but it changed Shimrock's level, and he was eating that lead hook a lot. I felt like it was a ton of pressure out of Aliev, and Shimrock just couldn't keep him off him. He kept having to defend the takedown, and he was smothered on the fence. But I feel like
Go lay down. Go
I
lay
feel
down.
Shimrock
Go. Get him in the
has a bright
bedroom
future,
now.
but I don't know. Nurolo Aliev, he's just one of those guys, man. He's a pressure guy. He's going to be all over the legs. And Shimrock, I believe, in the next year is going to be a really fun guy to watch. He's going to be another Dan Hooker type. And Aliev, I don't know. What do you think, George? Did you like that fight or no?
Alia's wrestling solid, but Rock couldn't land a punch if he tied his opponent to a chair. Rock's name sounds like a shitty energy drink, and his performance flat and forgettable. He needs to
Nice.
hit the gym or hit the road.
Damn. This is a guy who needs to hit the road, I think. Ryan Loader. He is vastly becoming the worst Ultimate Fighter winner. I mean, he was on a season with a lot of guys that it wasn't the strongest season in the world, but when he won, I was like, man, maybe they're gonna take him and develop him and give him the slow road. You know, they've thrown him to the wolves. Like Bo Nickel has had he's had it a little easier in the UFC up until Rainier Day Ritter. You know, he was fighting 24-hour notice dudes and smoking them. And then you got Ryan Loader, who's fighting a dude like Ishmael Nurdiev, who is a fucking hammer. Dude's going to come out and put one on your dome right away. And Ryan Loader, that's the worst type of fighter for him. He's a NCAA wrestler, got a great ground game. But hey, when you get socked in your mouth in a minute 26, you didn't really have enough time to let your ground game marinate. You couldn't get a hold of the poor guy. Ryan Loader, man, it's either he's cutting too much weight or he's just in the wrong space. He's in the wrong camp. I think they just take the wrong approach with him. You've seen those team alpha male guys at the lighter weight classes excel because they're super athletes and they can strike. They have power. Look at Chad Mendez. He wasn't the most technical striker in the world, but if you got right in front of him, he was going to knock your head off. Ryan Loder doesn't have that type of power. He doesn't have that type of threat. I don't think he's at the right camp. George, what do you think?
Man, this was quick and violent. You know, Ismail's power is no joke, and Loader's chin must be made out of glass. I think Loader's overrated as fuck. Guy's been hyped as the next GSP, but folded faster than the cheap lawn chair. Picture
Ooh,
Ryan waking up in the octagon thinking, "Did I just get hit by a truck, or was that a male's grandma behind the wheel?"
that was a rough one, dude. Ishmael was like so confident. He got in there and it was like not if when, one of those situations. The next fight, man, the judges called it a unanimous decision. And I thought, Bexat, when he started to get pieced up by Alexandre Tuporia, the fight started to change a little bit, but he never gave up on himself. I thought he won the first round. I was super confident that he was going to, continue to out cardio him. Alexandre Tuporia, man, he's got that clean boxing just like his brother. He's super patient. He's going to be one of these guys I think is labeled as boring because the first time he hits a guy, they're on their bike. If you remember the last time I fought George, I cracked the dude and he didn't want to engage the rest of the time. It's really hard to knock somebody out when they're on their bike. And Alexandre Tuporia, if he doesn't put you straight the fuck out, you will be on your bike because you don't want that smoke again. Bexat Almacan, a good showing of himself. He's going to be here to stay for a long time. He's a couple fights away from maybe able to give Alexandre a little bit more of a run for his money. He was sitting on that hook cross counter and Tuporia timed him up, man. What'd you think of Ilya's brother?
So this was a good fight, man. I'd say that this went the distance, and Topuria obviously wins by decision. But Elia's brother was picking Outman apart with strikes. Baxcat was gassing out like he ran a marathon before the fight.
Oh, he
Topuria's
ran a
footwork,
marathon in the fight.
yeah, Topuria's footwork was slick. He controlled the pace, but no fireworks. Almacon's really tough, but he's got the cardio of a chain smoking sloth. UFC cut this bum before he bores us to death.
Oh,
Alexander's fighting in his brother's shadow, yelling, "I'm not Elia," while punching. Meanwhile, Bexat's corner was like, "Breathe, you idiot."
that's a great take. He was though. 135. I mean, could you imagine? Like, I don't want to see it now. I want Malcolm to have a couple more fights, but I was really wanting to see Malcolm Wellmaker's check right hook against Alexandre Toporia's jab because he throws it such a lazy boxing style. Now, when I say that, people will say like I'm trashing him, but that lazy snap and jab is a style of jab, Roy Jones Jr. style. It's not like he had the most technical form when he was throwing it. When he got it all the way out there, it was beautiful and technical, but a lot of times that hand would be down by his hip. He'd have his hand way down by his hip, and then wow. And Topuria has that way of he has that nice tight shell, but he'll like lull you to sleep with the hand movement, and he's not firing the jab from the head. He's firing that jab somewhere in the shoulder range, and he's getting it around the guard, and he's putting the uppercut behind it. Man, the Topuria family genes with the boxing, it's just so beautiful. I believe that the Topurias probably could transfer right over to boxing, and with the power and the technique that they have, dude, they could do fucking well in both sports. Uh, the next fight we have Abdul Rahman Yakiev versus Rafael Sakaria. Now, if this wasn't the most technical kickboxing that you've ever seen in your life, we talk about throwing the jab and throwing the backside kick off it. If you throw the left hand, you're going to throw the right kick, right? So you flow into the combination. He floated across the octagon. He got Sakaria to put his head straight in the air, and he caught him with the nastiest head kick. Strangled him out for his troubles. Man, this kid, if he starts every fight like this and he could put damage on guys quick, look out, light heavyweights. He looked good, and he looked like the not the stereotypical 205er. He looked like a prototype 205er, right? Long, lean, rangy, but still built. Had some muscle on him. Terrifying guy, terrifying prospect at 205. What do you think, George?
I think Sicaria's defense is weaker than watered down whiskey. That guy's got no business if he can't stop a basic choke. I think Raphael tapping out and thinking, "Damn, I should have stayed in bed with the hot chick I had last night instead of flaying to cut her and getting tapped out."
You know, my favorite thing to say is it's super easy to grapple once you first give a guy a concussion. So I'm not going to really say that Zakaria was, he didn't pull a Isaac fucking Bulgarian. He got kicked in his
Mm,
shit, right?
yeah,
he got
that's
dropped like a sack of potatoes, dude.
that's
Fight the
fair.
hands. He's like, where the fuck are we?
Yeah. Whenever you're
uh,
turtled up and trying to figure out what dimension you're in, the last thing you're thinking about is technique.
right. It's so terrible. But that dude, I mean, Yakiev, the way he set it up beautiful, he tossed that long range cross out there and he made Sakaria really duck. And that kick was the plan. It was the plan the whole time. It was always the kick. It was the kick from the first second. Oh my God. Shin to freaking bridge
Mm.
of the nose. Oh, next we had a very big disappointment. Alex Perez, he comes out. Dude has uh he's having a firecracker of a fight. Honestly, I thought he was doing great. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought Alex Perez coming off that knee injury, the big layoff, he was boxing. His anti wrestling was good, and then Asul Amabayev says, "Fuck, I got to go get his neck because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get him out of here. I think I'm gonna lose a decision." Right? Even the announcers and commentators were talking about how that was a come from behind, right? Alex Perez, man, I'm heartbroken for you. I was super impressed up until the 22-second mark of the third round when Asu got that strangulation in there. Beautiful standing guillotine, George. He put his chin to his chest, like we talk about. What do you think?
I think this was a good fight, solid. They went back and forth. Dude was dominating early with his wrestling, but Perez flipped the script in the third. Perez Jiu-Jitsu saved his ass after getting out grappled. Albabayev was up 2-0 on the cards, but choked out like a rookie. Talk about snatching defeat from victory's jaws. I'd say, as you probably told his coach, "I got this," then tapped out faster than a drummer on coke. Perez, you sneaky bastard.
Oh, now this is your freaking parlay buster here. You always got to have an anchor leg in a parlay. And Sagid, we're just getting Sagid. I can't even say your last name. You ruined my night. He goes
Zachariah.
out there. He was the biggest betting favorite on the card before the card closed. And Nicholas Dalby, 41 years old, comes out and does Nicholas Dalby shit. He's tougher than an old fucking bundle of roofing nails. He's got great grappling, and he just, like Dan Hooker says, you can't teach ticker. And Nicholas Dalby has a shitload of ticker. As soon as that fight result was read, all of my parlays went right in the toilet. What you got, George?
Yeah, I would say that Nicholas came out, man, fighting like a Viking, beard and spitting and all, man. I think he totally took it to heart that he was the dog, and he was like, "I'm going to show everybody that I still got one left." That was one of the several parlays that I put in. Him and another underdog with a little bit of Waldo. Where's Waldo sprinkled on it, and I hit it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that Saeed is going to go back to the gym and really contemplate how hard he's going to have to come back. Because you know how Uncle Dana is. If you're overhyped like that and you don't produce, even on a fight night card, he'll drop you to the curtain jerkers, no problem.
He did to Bo Nickel.
You know.
Bo Nickel's one of the hottest American prospects we've had in decades, and he lost, and Uncle Dana said, "All right, back to the stables with you." He
Yes.
totally redeemed himself by killing Adolfo Vieira, but
Oh, that kick was McNasty.
oh my god. Next we had another McNasty. Luke Riley could not figure it out in the first round. He comes to the corner. Patty Pimblett says, "Hey, bud, you need to stop hesitating. You can get up from the bottom. Just swing on him." And did he ever? They threw simultaneous left hooks. Luke Riley with the much tighter, a lot more torque in his, a lot more technical, finds Bogdan Grad's chin first, and ooh, good night, Irene, baby. Bogdan Grad spun him around, chin checked him. He woke up when he hit the floor, but unlucky for him, Luke Riley was there with about 14 more of them. Luke Riley lighting the place up, putting next gen. picking up his buddy Shimrock from earlier in the night. I like this Luke Riley kid. If he could develop grappling with power like that, he's built like one of those guys that has sneaky power, much like the Gabriel from our gym, Gabriel Kaufman. Guys like that, those dudes that are just wiry and linky, they hit hard for no fucking reason at all. And Luke Riley has the touch of death in that left hand. What do you think, George?
Yeah, this would just be another time that I thought Special Raymond was going to come out and put someone out. I've seen flashes of brilliance from Bogdan, where I
Yeah.
think this dude is a savage, but I've also seen him get beat bad. Riley's hands, man, are as fast as lightning. Grodd ate that hook like it was a free lunch. I'd say Grodd's chin is getting suspect, man. Usually the guy's tougher than leather, but he folds under pressure like that origami. I think Riley's a future star, mark my words. And I think Bogdan probably woke up asking who turned out the lights while Luke's out there celebrating like he just cashed a lotto ticket.
For sure, dude. And he did cash a lotto ticket. He was one of the 50K guys left from Saturday night. Next, we had what a lot of people thought was a surprise, but if you know Kyoji Hiraguchi, when you hear guys like Hanato Moicano say that Kyoji Hiraguchi, even guys like Henry Cejudo, they say that this guy is the best fighter out of American Top Team. And then you go ahead and Google the roster of American Top Team. The champion of the division, Alexandre Pantoja, trains at American Top Team. When you hear stuff like this, sure, he's been gone for 9 years. He's only been over there dominating Risen and won championships, and he hasn't been losing, guys. He's 35-5. His only loss in the UFC was to Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who I don't know if you guys know this, is on the fucking GOAT list. And if you're talking about my GOAT list, he's at the top of it. He's at 125 pounds in the UFC, dominates so much that they have to trade him to another organization. Goes to said other organization where they have a hydration clause in their weight classes, so he has to go up 10 pounds to 135. That's their flyweight division. Dominates in another company. He loses to Adriano Moraes via knockout, the down knee. In the UFC, if you have 3 points of contact, they can't knee you. One championships, they don't have that. Adriano Moraes knocks him out with a knee in that situation. Demetrius Johnson comes back, knocks out Adriano Moraes, beats him in the third fight. So if you're looking at Kyoji Hiraguchi and you're judging him on that one loss, then you go ahead and smack yourself around because Mighty Mouse is that guy. Kyoji comes out and he put Tagir on notice. He cracks him early, and it was a situation that was opposite than we normally see. We normally see guys come out and they grapple their opponents till they're tired and light them up on the feet. Kyoji Hiraguchi flipped the script on old boy. He come out there and he pieced his ass up on the feet for probably 9 or 10 minutes, and then gets to Tagir's back and strangles him out. He did it in reverse, and he did it to a Dagestani, and you love to see it. At least I love to see it. What'd you think, George?
Man, your boy Kyoji turned a bad spot into gold. Reverse and squeeze, man. You're a lot, whatever that dude's name is, Bekov,
Ulanbekov.
whatever.
Tagir
There you go.
Ulanbekov.
Yeah, we'll call him Tagir. He's hyped as the next could be, but he gassed worse than a bad burrito. I think he's overrated. Tagir tapped out looking like he saw a ghost, and Kyoji at his age, that's like your grandma beating up the neighborhood bully. Respect, sir.
You put some respect on Gucci, baby. If whoever he fights next, and I think it could be just a bang. I think, could you imagine Charles Energy Johnson versus Kyoji Hiraguchi for a number one contenders fight? Kyoji Hiraguchi, he has earned that through his body of work in martial arts. He comes in and he takes out this guy, Ulanbekov, who's touted to be the next big thing. Charles Energy Johnson, he's beaten Josh Van, knocked him out. Josh Van is fighting for the title next, right? And Charles Johnson is on a roll. This only makes sense to me, man. We got Joshua Van. We got Alexandre Pantoja. Let's get Kyoji Hiraguchi and Charles Energy Johnson on the same card as Manel Kopp and Brandon Royval, right? And let's get some fucking contenders out of this division. Now they've said it for a while. The flyweight division needs life. Kyoji Hiraguchi, there it is. Put him up there in that top 5. Let him bang, bro. Next, we have the ultimate let 'em bang, bro. What did I
Hmm.
say? I said if Waldo makes it to the motherfucking scale on weight, bet the house. This boy, he goes and he beats up that freaking monster from Tom Aspinall's gym, right? After getting his eyeball scooped out of his head. He comes home, he has one training session. One training session. His manager calls him, "Yo, you want to flight? You want to fight? We have to leave tonight to go to Qatar." Waldo says, "Fuck it, I'm in." Hangs up the phone, lands in Qatar, cuts 15 pounds, steps on the scale, knocks the shit out of Shamel Gaziv. And for me, he's my sleeper heavyweight guy. I've been saying this. He's a former baseball player. He's a pitcher. That right hand, he throws it the same way you would throw a fastball. He's got good head movement. He's got good takedown defense. He's tough as fuck. He will not give up on himself. Absolute unit at 265 pounds, and that boy's got those hands on him. George Novo, how do you not fucking love Waldo Cortez Acosta?
Easy. I do. And following up with the eye patches was hilarious. With your
He
boy,
put the one on Bisping.
and he got the right eye too, the
Yeah.
fake eye. That made it even funnier.
Yeah.
Um, I would definitely say that Shamil came out swinging, and he did not know what he was getting into.
Oh
This
man.
dude totally disrespected that guy's power, overcommitted, left himself open, stepped into a knockout, but not in the good way. Stepped on the receiving end of a knockout. Waldo, man, is on a hype train right now, and with John Jones hopefully staying gone, that division's wide open.
We're gonna take a look here at Waldo real quick, bro. So he lost the decision to Sergey Pavlovich, which he could have won, bud. He was beating up Sergey. He beat Spivak, anti-Delesia. That guy, uh, crazy. Ryan Spann, the most unintelligent thing he could have done was move up to heavyweight and fight Waldo right off the bat. Right, that was crazy. Waldo beat Robles Despania, who is one of the scariest strikers to ever live. Lucas Breshke, who knocked out or he beat Chase Sherman, Andre Arlovsky, Jared Vandera. I mean, what's the man got to do? What's he ranked right now? What is Waldo Cortez Acosta? Is he not ranked? He's not even ranked. He's got to be ranked. This I don't know. We'll have to pull that up, but I don't know. Waldo, that's my guy, dude. I would pick Waldo against anybody just because of the toughness in that right hand. All he has to do is touch you. He socked Gaziv one time. Gaziv sat down, got up, and then he was like, "Oh, motherfucker. What did I do to myself?" Next, we had something that really hurt my heart. Jack Hermanson did not look bad on the scale. He looked super fit. He didn't look really drawn out. He looked like he made weight fine. I think his chin is just gone. He's been in there so many battles, and normally these guys go up to save their brain. He went down to try to keep himself in title contention somewhere. I thought this was going to be a situation where Oralby was going to just shoot, and then he was going to find out Jack Hermanson is no fucking joke on the ground. He tapped Jacare Souza, who, if you know, is one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners that ever played the fucking game in the gi and no gi. He's just incredibly talented. Mitubek Oralby said, nah. I'm channeling my Genghis Khan tonight and removing your fucking head from your body. The shot that he landed, this is how I know that Hermanson's chin is probably compromised. The shot that he landed was a stiff technical shot, but we've seen Hermanson eat nasty shots from bigger, more powerful dudes. Taking nothing away from Oralby. He came up from 55 to 70. He can crack. I just don't know who the fuck he's going to contend with. I mean, Oralby just put himself in the most dynamite stacked division in the UFC. I mean, how many guys in that 170 top 10 can just put you out with one shot? And this dude's 55 are coming up. I don't know. What do you think about the fight? And what do you think about Oralby's chances at 70 moving forward?
Man, I think what you said exactly, Jack realized mid-fight that that chin was gone because he
Oh
saw
yeah,
that
bud.
punch coming and he kind of choked up and Oralby double clutched it and waited for him to pop up. It was like a reverse peekaboo from Tyson, except it was the guy blocking and then we popped his head up. It was like whack-a-mole and
Oh
got him. Um, I think that this is another case of a guy that fought someone who I don't want to say Jack is a can. That's not the case, but at this point in his career, he's kind of getting closer to being out of there.
yeah, he's not
So
Hermanson anymore.
who like I mean if this skyrockets his stock and going through, we talk about this before. You know, Rogan says it all the time, styles make fights. Who do you think squares up against this guy and gives him a real problem?
Dude, I don't think anybody at 70 in that top 10 would struggle with Oral By. I don't think he does well. I think that he's an in-betweener. He's one of these guys that's going to be a victim of the not enough weight classes. I think Oral By was meant to be like a 65er, and we just don't have it. It goes from 55 to 70. It should go 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 205. And that would just put more champions in the game. That would put more guys like Izzy. You know, if there was a 75, right?
Hmm.
Who the fuck at 175 pounds would beat Israel? Because, you know, the Duplessis, he's not getting down to 75. He would be in that 95, right? So it just, Oral is not going to do well in that top 10. I don't see a guy. I'm going to just, my answer to the question is exactly the opposite of your question. Who do you see can square up with him? Who do I see that can't beat the brakes off him is my problem with it.
Yeah. Again, only time will tell. And you know, with the roster as big as it is, it's a revolving door right now.
And
Um,
70 so deep, bro. Like, what is he going to go against? Like Mike Malott or Charles Radke or Neil Magny? Oh my God, Colby
no,
Covington, and those are the washed ones. You know, not
yeah.
Malott and Radke, but like Neil Madke and Colby Covington. No, Oral By,
Whoa.
you're dead, bud.
Don't make me message John Anik and tell him that you accidentally just called Mike freaking Malott washed.
Kick him in the dick, Mike Malott. Kick him in the dick a lot, Mike Malott.
uh man,
Next,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say is that you know, even guys that are touted that have lots of fights that you think are, you know, you're gonna come back and look at Barnett and Hamdi. You know,
Yeah.
Barnett didn't deserve that. His wife just passed from cancer. And, you know, you're out of here. You're done. We
Yeah,
need room
dude.
for the new blood.
It's fucking kill or be killed for sure. Next, we had this was not a surprise to me. I don't think it was a surprise to George. Did you pick Ozdemir or did you pick Manifield?
Uh, I think I picked Menafield.
Ouch. Well, it might have been a shock to you, but Vulcan living up to his moniker and his entire MMA body of work. He had no fucking time for Alonzo Manifield. He goes out there, he's throwing lead knee, lead uppercut, hook. And he's not like it's not set up, right? He just goes out there. First combination he throws is a 1-2, then jab, and we're going hook off that. So he's turning his jab into the, or sorry, uppercut. He's turning the jab into the uppercut, and he's following same hand with the knee, right? Just to show him one and give him the other, and then the hook behind it. And Manifield didn't eat it just one time; he ate it like 2 or 3 times. The finishing sequence in that fight was disgusting too. It was like vintage Max Holloway putting like 400 punches on a dude as he falls. Except for this was Vulcan fucking Ozdemir at 205 pounds, and when he gets in there, you know he's 230. That boy thick with 3 C's.
Oh,
Holy
I picked
shit!
Ozemir.
Yeah. That Tanner and I were Snapchatting each other, and it was literally like Manifield got hit 14 times, looked, he's still hitting me, and then dropped. Like Ozdemir put a 25-piece family combo on that poor guy. And Manifield's taken a lot of damage in his fights, man. If he doesn't get the guy out of there fairly quickly, I mean, he got Omar C in a unanimous decision. He beat Johnny Walker in a split decision, which was sus. But Mirzakhanov knocked him out. Carlos Alberg, he blitzed across the cage and he started swinging on Carlos Alberg as soon as the fight started. Carlos put him out with a left hook in 12 seconds. Um, I don't know, man. Manafield, that 205 division, he's another one of those guys. He's a tweener, bro. Imagine if like the UFC had a 205 to 225 and then it went to heavyweight from 225. I think Menifield would like do really well in a division like that, along with a Johnny Walker who can't find success at 205 with savage grapplers. And you know he's not going to be very successful at heavyweight because he struggles with guys with power. It's just guys like this make a good argument for the multiple weight class thing. I don't think Menifield has the technical striking skills or the honestly the pedigree and the grappling to compete past the gatekeeper phase. What do you think about Menifield?
I think, just like another Alonzo in training day, he thought King Kong ain't got shit on me and got silenced again. Menifield's chin is getting exposed. It is not granite. It is not concrete. It's more like plaster. This guy can dish it out, but can't take the receipts. And he probably thought that he was gonna knock out this Swiss cheese that's Vulcan, and then he realized this is why the Swiss have one of the best armies in the world and never been in a conflict and are neutral. Just because I don't fight don't mean I don't train. I would say that I'm thinking that this might be a fighter remove pretty soon.
Mm.
And Vulcan's probably out there celebrating like he just won free fondue for life.
He just opened the No Time MMA Institute. So that boy is entrenched in the game. And you love to see it. He's been around for a while, man. He came in, had a meteoric rise. He fought Daniel Cormier for the 205 belt, which didn't go well because he fought Daniel fucking Cormier. Shout out
Just
Captain at AKA, right? That's our captain. You talk to Coach Mo, George, and he'll tell you that Daniel Cormier is not only AKA's captain, he is our captain. When he's referencing Daniel Cormier, he references the captain, Daniel Cormier. um, so yeah, he's been around for a while, man, and you see him finally getting on a hot streak, putting dudes out. You love to see it. This next fight, I hate to say it, but Ian Gary looked great.
boo.
Dude, he looked great because Bilal didn't look bad, bro. Bilal's striking, he was touching Ian Gary. He was busting him up a little bit. I thought it could have been, we could have had an argument for 1-1 going into the third because Bilal, I thought, got a little bit more work done in that first round with the cage press, he would get him clinched up, cage control a little bit. Um, but Ian Gary butchered his legs. He was tearing him up with the straight shots. He wasn't over swinging, which a lot of us do. I'll say us because, I know what it feels like to be sparring or in there with the dude that just wants to get a hold of your legs and he's being successful at it. So you kind of get a little urgent in your shot. Maybe you overthrow it and that ends up getting you taken down. Um, he wasn't doing that. He wasn't allowing himself to get emotional and swing big and miss for Bilal to get a hold of him. When Bilal did get a hold of him, he fought. He actually had the closest situation to securing a takedown between the two guys, which shocked me, but it really shouldn't. He trains with Damian Maya and Charles Oliveira at Shootbox. Uh, those guys have the answers for that. Um, but here's the thing, man. He's 6'3", and Islam is even shorter than Bilal. So if he does get a crack at Islam, while I think Islam will be more successful in getting him to the floor and controlling him at space a little better than Bilal, and Islam's defensive striking is very, very good, right? It took Volkanovski blitzing him and being totally unafraid of the grappling to touch him and set him down. So I think Islam versus Ian Gary, where it could be very interesting in aspects. That first round, the first two rounds might be pretty exciting. or pretty successful for a guy like Ian Gary, but Islam doesn't get tired. Islam carries power. Islam throws kicks. He just butchered JDM's calves. I think Ian Machado Gary versus JDM is a great fight, but I don't see. I mean, you got to respect Ian Machado Gary, man. As much as I hate to say it, that kid went out there. He did what he had to do, and the only knock I have on him in this fight is Bilal wanted 5 rounds, and I think for a title eliminator fight, that's warranted. I want to see the guy that's vying for the chance at the belt to go 5, and I think had it went 5, we probably would have seen a finish. We definitely would have seen Gary's gas tank tested a little bit more. I think Bilal would have been a little more reserved and taken less damage, right? Um, I don't know. What did you think? Do you think Ian Machado Gary deserves a title shot over Michael Morales, or I think he does deserve it over Carlos Prates, even though I love Prates, but he took that fight on like a week's notice and he beat Prates in a 5 rounder. So you can't really pick Carlos over him just in a meritocracy. But there are guys like Shavkat Rakhmonov. There are guys like Kamaru Usman, who I think deserves a crack before him. So how do you think the performance went by Ian Machado Gary? And do you think he gets the next crack at the belt, or who do you put for that?
So before I answer those questions, my biggest shocker in this fight was normally whenever you have such a disadvantage in height, like Bilal was trying to counter, you train for that. And I really thought the way Ian was just spamming kicks that was going to open him up and open him to a takedown, and Bilal was going to get him down and punish the body and wear out that gas tank. That's where I thought this fight was going, and that's what I put my money on. Clearly, it didn't happen. Now, I will say that Gary is technical in a way, but his attitude is as if he's super dominant. He talks more shit and acts like he's the next hot thing when I think he's totally beatable. Now,
Oh yeah,
Ian Gary saying that he's the next in line and dog walking everyone else in the division and saying that whatever, I could take it. Like he's really gonna go for what? Taporia? I don't see that. I totally would like to see him possibly fight Shavkat, a healthy Shavkat,
yeah.
and
Again,
let him do that, or Usman, because Kamaru's wrestling is on a whole nother level, as is Bilal's, but Kamaru has the height to be able to compete with that. He's not going to be stuck on the outside,
and
and he
boxing
showed
power.
he showed everybody in his last fight that he's far from done. So, yeah, I don't want to hate on him completely. Ian Gary does have a resume that he's building with wins over quality opponents. But again, I can't stand somebody that wants to be like a great value version of Connor because that's what he comes off as when he's doing his little interviews and stuff.
Yeah, I think we should get Michael Morales, Ian Gary, and JDM and Carlos Prates, and let Usman and Islam fight it out. I think that's the way we should go. I think it's only fair, and also I think Michael Morales would swell shut Ian Machado Gary's face very quickly. Um,
JDM and Carlos, man,
ooh,
my God,
all the violence, dog. Give me that.
dude. One of them's drinking lagers down to the ring, and Carlos sipping on tequila or whiskey. Man, it's gonna be bad.
Smoking a fucking banana boat on the way. uh, Armin Sarukian. Listen, man, I watched Armin Sarukian strangle out Benson Henderson with the exact same choke like a month before this fight took place. And as soon as I saw it, there's just, Dan Hangman Hooker is submission savvy. He is like, he knows how to throw that shit on there. But when you're going against a guy like Armin Sarukian that trains at that All Stars gym, he's rolling with Hamzat Shemaev every day. Um, he already came in with the pedigree to put you on the ground. Now, when you're an aggressive wrestler like that, you know the things that you have to defend. One of them, the main one, is that guillotine, right? I mean, how many times in the gym do you see me slap that that snatch Gilly on somebody who just wants to come in and wrestle heavy, right? That's like that's like the first submission. If you could make sure that their head is above your hip a little bit and bury that choke in, maybe you could throw a little razzle dazzle and roll them to mount with like a gator bacon type move. Shout out Justin Gibson, taught me that shit by doing it to me a bunch of fucking times. Um, yeah, he just so he's savvy to that Gilly. He got right out of it with that gator roll, which is a crazy thing to do. His neck is strong as shit, or you should not do that. Uh, but he slaps that monstrous arm triangle on him. I mean, look at the way that Armin's built. You know that he's got incredible squeeze power, and he shut off that artery with Dan's arm and then his arm across the other side of the neck. I don't know. I didn't see it like the only thing I thought Dan could do was catch him with the knee on the way in, and that was literally it. Yeah, tough night for Dan Hooker. Love the guy. I love that he called out Hanato Moicano. Take all my money. I'll watch that fight. Um, what do you think, George? Do you think Dan Hooker should fight Hanato next? And did you see Armin strangling him out of there? Or
We all know that Sarukian's ground game is vicious. That is his bread and butter. And the guy has the money to go train at some of the best places. Dude's a problem. Like, he might not be the greatest stand-up artist, but again, if he gets you on the ground, he's probably snapping and tapping, ripping something or choking. And Dan Hooker is a gamer opponent. That dude is like Nate Diaz. It could be 10 on 1 and he's still talking shit all the way to the pavement. Um Hooker hung in there tough, dude, in round 1, but Armin took him down and cranked it. Armin's grappling is world class. Hooker couldn't stuff the takedowns, man. Like we said, Hooker is as tough as titanium, but I think he's past his prime. Guy has been in so many wars and it shows. I mean, all that scar tissue, getting swole up in that fight like that. I don't know. Sarukian's the future, but calling out Taporia, that's ballsy. Dan tapping out like Uncle while Armin's posing like he just conquered the world. Hooker probably woke up thinking, man, screw guitar. I'm going back to New Zealand for some sleep therapy. Um, there you have it, man. Full recap, man. Sarukian versus Hooker. It was a little spicy, a little funny, straight, and no chaser, just like we like it.
before I let you get out of here, George, have you looked at the UFC 323 card? Have you given
Uh,
that a gander at all?
I was looking over it briefly. I know there's a couple fights that definitely piqued my interest.
Dude, we got the prelim main event is Grant Dawson and Manuel Torres. Give me that fucking fight all day long. If Grant can't get it to the floor, Manuel's tearing his head off. I'm not going to spend too much time on all these because we're breaking them now next week, but I'm going to highlight a couple that I think will be my favorites here. That one, Dawson Torres, that's what I'm looking forward to. The return of Macy Barber versus Karini Silva. Look out for that one. That's going to be fun. The one right before that, though, right before Macy Barber's return. This has potential to be fight of the night, fireworks. Um, Nazim Sadikov versus Faraz Ziem. Those boys are gonna fucking go at it. And then Edson Barbosa, the old dog, he's fighting Jalen Turner coming out of retirement. Jalen was going through some stuff. He laid the gloves down after his last fight. He's back, hungrier than ever. I just want to see a good showing there. That is a striker's delight. If anyone shoots in that, it'll be Jalen Turner. But Edson will have something for him, and I believe it's Edson back at lightweight, so we get to see the full fucking murderer Edson Barbosa. I'm sure Tanner Dunphy's gonna have a lot to say about Edson next week. Um, and here's another sleeper: Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. Henry Cejudo could be put to bed, or he could put on an MMA master class on Talbot, who has been susceptible to being taken down. I don't think Henry has the power to put him out. I don't think Henry should be playing with him on the feet very long. But I think Henry could get it done. Other than that, man, Brandon Moreno's on the card. We finally get to see Van versus Pantoja, Marab Dvalishvili, who should be the fucking pound for pound king, right? This will be the fifth time defending that belt in a year, in 1 year. He's doing it against Pewter No Mercy Jan, fighting him again. If you remember the buildup of for that last one at the weigh-ins, Marab's standing on the scale and Pewter's staring at the cameras, and Marab's in his ear going, "Over here, bitch. Over here, bitch." To Peter fucking Jan. That's how crazy Marab Dwavishvili is. It's going to be a great fight week. We got to get through the holidays this week with our family and Thanksgiving, but
Boy, that's a
Uncle
fight in
Dana's
itself
giving us a
sometimes.
yeah. Uncle Dana's giving us a fucking hang in there card at UFC 323. That is all I have. Special shout out, sorry, to Keaton Tyler Miller. He fought at the Art of the Scrap, a 3-round war. The judges were being a little sus, I guess, in the situation. We might have him on and get the whole story. I'm going to reach out to him. Then we had Devin the Dagger Jackson in his pro debut for Buckwild MMA. He took home the dub. Sebastian Thompson. You guys know I love that kid. I train with him as much as I possibly can up there in Peru. 125er. Kid's an absolute dog. Bill Hoffman's guy. Shout out Bill Hoffman. Jacob Herlock, many years retired, just being a gym owner at Gracie Gara in Kokomo, and outstanding coach. They win all the time in jiu-jitsu and MMA and kickboxing. I mean, it's a complete gym, completely full of animals. He comes out and he beats a tough Jason Fan in the main event, pro main event. I'm going to reach out to him. Jason Fan separated his shoulder after the first takedown of the fight and tried to get up and fight still, man. And Herlock's just an absolute animal. BJJ black belt, absolute stud, absolute unit. So we had some great fights in the area Saturday night here in Indiana as well. I'll be doing better about posting about them and trying to get to their events. Other than that, I am good. George Novo, what you got?
Hey, man, I just want everybody out there to be safe. Don't do the whole entire Blackout Friday thing too hard. Be safe out there during Black Friday, and take time, even if you've got issues with your closely knit circle or people that you aren't close to. Everybody I know is ridiculously busy, wrapped up in their own lives, just trying to make ends meet. So don't forsake the fact that you're going to see people that you love. And even though you could have differences or whatever, in their heart of hearts, your family loves you for the most part. So take time, cherish that, put the telephone down unless you're taking some pictures. Do that thing. And we'll definitely see you next week.
Hell yeah. Also, join our Discord, man. Hit us up for the link. George Novo won a bunch of money on the fights. I was talking shit at my picks. I felt it. I felt it in my loins. We were going to win some money. I lost all my money. George Novo won his money. So if you want to track some bets, don't track mine, track George's. But either way, come to the Discord channel. Hey, and you can get beat up by Danny Dimes and win by 3 all day, but you can't lose to Shadir Sanders. I'll see you guys. Come to the Mixed Martial Idiots podcast next week.
Felt that down in my plums. They're ripe, ready to take them to market.